Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. Today we're going to talk about the top teams in the Ultra League, and the video next will be about the Fantasy Cup. Why Ultra League first? Well, technically most of the viewers here are come for Ultra League and Master League, so that's the reason why. Okay guys, if you want other type of content, you have to, prove yourself as a loyal viewer in this channel. No, I'm just kidding, because I actually enjoy Ultra League, and that's why we're doing it first, and then the Fantasy Cup video will comes later in the same day. Now, Ultra League is a bit more versatile than Open Great League because we have so many valid options. Like, all of these are viable, and then you look at here, you see Mimikyu #1, and you see Lickilicky, Corviknight, Tinkaton, Corviknight, Shadow, which I don't have, a Florges, Empoleon. And honestly, like, this is one of the reasons why people enjoy Ultra League. Like, as an example, you could still use Clefable that you powered up in Season 1 a couple years ago. You could use also Malamar, Talonflame, which had a community day, like, since forever. Like, all these Pokemons are viable. And in this meta, like this season, Lickilicky came back to the surface. It used to be one of the OP Pokemon back when they introduced XL to the game, and now it's surfacing back because of the rebalance to Body Slam and to the buff to the Shadow Ball, and then they gave it all out, so it became one of the good Pokemons. Corviknight is still a beast, Feraligatr is still decent, Dusknoir or Dusclops, I think this is Dusknoir. Dusknoir is still a beast and one of the Pokemons I do enjoy. So, like, in a nutshell, Ultra League is the league where people have enjoy it because they have more freedom, but they get punished because it takes longer time than the other leagues. So that's the main reason why it feels a bit, slow, but also consistent. Some people just don't enjoy the fast metas. So let's move into the top teams, and I tried to build some teams, but I ended up using lots of the old teams that I suggested in this channel with like a small tweak. I was like, just to make them more meta viable. And that's why, like, you guys come to this channel so you know what you need to update about your team. The most powerful team in this Ultra League meta right now is actually consists of Mimikyu. Why Mimikyu is so OP? Think of Mimikyu as a Pokemon and a half, because Mimikyu's nature gives him a third shield, so you have 2 shields and a third one, and also they gave it Shadow Claw. Now it doesn't have a good charge move, but like it doesn't have a cheap charge move, but honestly, like with its current situation, it's so broken. Like, you might be saying, like, yeah, you get punished for that third shield. Yeah, you do, but at that point, you don't even need the Pokemon. In fact, it's actually more like a bonus, because after using the third shield, you don't need that Pokemon to be alive. You want that Pokemon to faint as soon as possible, and the best way to do that is by reducing his defense. So I actually don't mind the fact that he dies faster. Like, I actually appreciate it, because at that point, he's going to become, like a free farm. And no, you just let him faint, and then you can bring your other Pokemon and get some extra farm from it. It performs so well with Corviknight, because technically this Pokemon is weak to Steel and Poison, and Corviknight is technically the nightmare for those Pokemons, because it has a ground fast move, which is Sand Attack, and also you can boost that damage with the Air Cutter. And then Billy Bolt, just because it's a great Pokemon as a third. And as far as Lickilicky, I think the best Lickilicky team would be like Lickilicky with Tentacruel and Credeli. Credeli, you run Acid, you don't run Bullet Seed, okay? Don't be like running Bullet Seed, like, oh, why this team is not working? Well, number one, you're not running Acid. You need Acid in this meta. Like, actually, it's not even close why you need Acid. It's the better fast move in the current meta. What about this team, which is I suggested like 2-3 weeks ago? Technically, Jellicent is kind of a free food right now to something like Mimikyu, because Mimikyu has Shadow Claw, and Shadow Claw is the superior fast move. So that's why I don't recommend using Jellicent. Wherever you see a Jellicent, just replace it with a Mimikyu. That's all you need to do. You could do Mimikyu, Lickilicky, and Tinkaton, and you will have a great Ultra League team. Now, things go the same here. Like, this team is great, which is basically Tinkaton with a Ghost and Guzzlord in the back. So Jellicent and Primeape or Annihilate, good third, right? But you just take those and you just put a Mimikyu here instead, and you will have a much better team. Now, if you take a look at this team used to be solid because you have 2 Pokemons in the back that are weak to Fairy. And then you lead something that's anti-Fairy. Now, with Mimikyu came in, he's not like that Fairy Pokemon is no longer weak to poison because it's a neutral damage. It takes neutral from poison, right? And you're dishing out Shadow Claw damage, which is a superior move. Well, technically, Acid is Shadow Claw as far as I remember, right? And then Tentacruel is gonna win because it has a better charge move. You're like Shadow Sneak is not technically a good charge move to start with. Something like this, where you see a Fairy here that is Florges, honestly, either use Tinkaton instead or just use Mimikyu instead. As a third here, something to mention, Empoleon is a good Pokemon in the current meta. If you want a Pokemon that can stop Mimikyu, it's Empoleon. And it's not even close because it's the only Pokemon I could think of that has a Steel Fast move. Now someone will be like, Metagross. I mean meta viable Pokemon, not any Pokemon, okay? So you use Empoleon as the anti-Mimikyu Pokemon, okay? Just in case they are using something like Florges. That's where Empoleon comes in clutch. And that's where like the third team comes in, which is basically Empoleon, Mimikyu itself, and something like Galarian Moltres. What if you don't have Galarian Moltres? Just use Galarian Moltres, okay? Just use your daily incense. We have Go Fest soon. Make sure you have your daily incense with like infinite extra time. Now, as far as Lapras is still viable. I don't know why people stopped using it. It's actually so great. I think people just like Empoleon slightly more because Empoleon is a better offensive Pokemon. Lapras is a better defensive Pokemon. Think of them this way. Now, even if you take a look at the back, Lapras used to be good core with Scoldurge. Now, I don't think Scoldurge is as viable because Mimikyu is just a superior Pokemon. The third is up to you. It could be a dragon or it could be just a Weezing. Like, depend what are you trying to bait out. Annihilape used to be viable with Lickilicky or Talonflame. That's like what I used to see in the Ultra League, and sometimes with something like Tentacle. Honestly, just run Mimikyu instead, and you will even have a much better team. As far as Talonflame, usually whenever you see a team with Talonflame, you lead Talonflame. Okay. Why you lead it? Well, you have a chance into not getting locked out, and usually something like a Blastoise, which is the biggest nightmare to Talonflame, is in the back. It's not in the lead. Jellicent is usually in the swap. So those two are like some of the most the things that exist the most as like a Talonflame counter. They are usually in the back. So yeah, that's something you need to keep in your mind. What about Torricus? It's still a great Pokemon, honestly, but do you want to use an inferior Fairy-type Pokemon, or do you want to use the superior Fairy-type Pokemon? That's like the main thing about it. Something to mention, Venusaur is actually legit in Ultra League. If you need a Pokemon that can beat Lickilicky, Jellicent, Blastoise, Billibold, Florges, Mimikyu, it's Venusaur. Venusaur beat all of these Pokemons, okay? So don't let anyone know about that. So yeah, thanks so much everyone for watching. I try to keep it as short as possible and straight to the point. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, or whatever you're having. Thanks so much for watching. And before we head out, don't forget to like the video if you like the content and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Peace.